Yo, what up?
Yo, BTV Sports is in the building. What it is, everybody, is Jason and Ugo along with
Mr. Yahtzee himself. You go, boy.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Another week of the NFL in the books.
Yes,
It's
sir.
week one.
Yes,
We're
sir.
now into week two. We have a lot to cover with week one.
A lot.
And once again, there's never a dull moment in the NFL. Never a dull moment. Well, for better or worse, it's never a dull moment.
It's the best soap opera in professional of all the major professional sports in America.
Oh, yes.
NFL is king for a reason. It's the best.
Even during the offseason, it's king.
Yes. It has to be. It literally has to be.
We'll start off with, first of all, let me ask you, where do you want to start off? Do you want to start off with the thrashing of the Giants, or do you want to?
No, we got to work our way up to that. Now, we work our way up to that. I was re-listening to the previous episodes where we were like teeing it up. Nah, let's get your pain out the way. Where's Joe Beningo?
Shout out to Joe Beningo.
I went to school to Don DeMarco. I'm going to clip those up and make those drops. They're gonna be ready.
Oh, the pain.
Marv, they're gonna be in the Dropbox tonight. You have my word.
All right. So where do we begin with the New York Jets? Jets? Wow. All I will say is,
man,
us Jets fans can never have anything nice.
So we can't have nice things.
We can never have nice things. And just when we think I'm gonna go full Al Pacino, just when I think I get out, they pull me back in. Oh my God! But yeah, Ugo, let me tell you. You have no idea. Maybe you have a semblance of an idea, but you had no idea how excited I was this offseason. From Pat McAfee's show where Aaron Rodgers says that he wants to join the New York Jets, from them actually signing the New York Jets, and then him coming to New York, and he's doing everything right. He's having a blast here in the tri-state area.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to MetLife Stadium to check out Taylor Swift. He's going to every Broadway show with the offensive side of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
He has Nathaniel Hackett, his buddy, who's also his offensive coordinator. Him and Zach Wilson are having great chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
He's embracing the entirety of being a New York Jet, and he loves being here, and he wants to be here, and he wants to succeed. He gets us all riled up with not just slaying the dragon, but becoming the dragon. And he's also mentioning that the Lombardi Trophy is getting a little lonely, and that all hypes us up. And then September 11th, it seems like it's all falling into place in remembrance of all those people that tragically died on that day. And we're doing it for New York. And he comes out waving the American flag, showing us that we're proud to be Americans. And this is a new era in Jets history. And then 1 play later, 2 play later, 3. But then finally on the 4th play, right when Breece Hall makes an amazing 23-something yard run, he goes down. And what happens? It's not just a twist of the ankle. It's not a tweak of the calf. His fucking Achilles pops, and he is out.
I'm shaking my head. I think our viewers can't see it.
Oh my God.
The SMH is 89,000.
You have no idea. You have no idea when I saw him get tackled, and then he gets up, and I'm thank God that he's okay. But then he goes right back down and he's holding his legs. I'm like, oh, this is not good.
Yeah, I texted you like,
oh,
bro.
Oh my God. Please don't tell me he's hurt. Don't tell me that.
I hopped right on Twitter and I was like, yo, is there a doctor on here or something? Like, when we talk about it.
And then you got people like Ryan Clark who's saying, oh no, he broke his ankle. First of all, you don't have a doctorate, okay? You are retired, semi-failed player. That's actually harsh. He was actually a pretty decent player. He was good. I mean, but there's a reason why he's in broadcasting now instead of something else, and that's why he's not in the league anymore. But just to say that he just broke his ankle, you don't have any proof of that yet.
No.
But anyway, that's beside the point. That happened like days ago now. But I'm taking you through the motions right now where they put him in they hop him. He's getting helped off the field. He can't put any weight on his leg. I'm hoping it's just a calf strain or just like he twists his ankle and he's just got to walk it off. But then you see the cart come out, and this is Breece Hall all over again when you knew that he was going to be gone for a significant time. The only problem is we were dying to see what Aaron Rodgers was going to do this season with the New York Jets.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one thing I will say is that I'm glad that he's been very vocal about his recovery, and he's looking forward to coming back.
Yeah.
This is not a one and done. There was already people that were speculating. Maybe he's thinking about maybe he should have retired because he was already 90% retirement mode when he left the Packers, but then he came to New York, and now he's going to be 41 next year. Does he actually want to keep on going? Is he taking this as a sign? Is the universe telling him that maybe he should quit football? No. I love that line that he says from The Dark Knight. The rise is just before the fall, and I shall rise again. Aaron Rodgers will be back next year. But unfortunately, our Super Bowl aspirations,
Hey, they're gone.
no Super Bowl we can at least expect for the playoffs, and we're probably most likely going to know what we already know, that Zach Wilson is not worthy of a New York Jet uniform. I have no confidence. I'm sorry, I have no confidence in Zach Wilson at all.
Zero.
Listen, I said when Aaron Rodgers was about to be starting week 1, I had them winning 13 games. Do you know how much of a drop-off I have now that Zach is to the QB1?
What are we talking, like
5.
Oh, wow, 5?
I realistically can only look at the schedule and see 5 wins that the Jets will have if Zach Wilson plays the entire season. That's how much lack of confidence I have in Zach Wilson. Now, obviously, they got to get a veteran, and they're going to roll with this plan now that QB1, but they have to have somebody behind them. It can't be just Tim Boyle. I personally think that they should get Colt McCoy. That's who I feel comfortable with, because he knows the Nathaniel Hackett system as far as what I heard. I don't feel so great about Jacoby Brissett. I understand he's a career journeyman as far as the backups and everything. And I don't know. There's just something about Jacoby Brissett that doesn't give me a lot of confidence. And I'm not saying that Colt McCoy is going to win us a Super Bowl or anything like that, but I just feel for a clear backup role, and knowing that Zach Wilson has somebody to look behind his back, and if by the bye week he continues to show the struggles that he's been showing in his first 2 years, don't believe the hype. Robert Saleh saying all the things about, like, he's going to be our QB1 going forward, this, that, and the third, and Aaron Rodgers will be back. No, I feel if he starts struggling again, which I think is very likely, they're going to pull him, and then afterwards they're going to have to put in whoever who's backing up, and it can't be Tim Boyle. I would rather take Colt McCoy. I would take Nick Foles, honestly. If they get Jacoby Brissett, fine. But they're not getting Tom Brady. Let's knock off all that. Let's get that nonsense out there, because there's some stupid Jet fans out there that think, oh, maybe Tom Brady will actually come out of retirement. No, he does not come out of retirement, and he does not want to be a New York Jet. And don't even get me started with the whole Colin Kaepernick thing. That's a whole new can of worms that I'm not willing to open right now. But yeah, it's just at the end of the day, us Jet fans, we can't have anything nice.
Tell us how you really feel, Mr. Enrique. Oh, dude, my heart goes out to you guys. It really does. It really does. Because I texted you.
Yeah, but you're also sharing those stupid memes on social media.
That one was funny. He came out with the American flag like Hacksaw Jim Duggan out there, bitch. And they had the country music playing in the background. It's pretty funny. But no, seriously, all memes aside.
Yes.
All jokes aside. I've been there. I know the feeling of, I'm not exaggerating, when Dak Prescott's leg snapped in half against the Giants back in 2020. It was
I remember that. Yeah.
I'm watching it. It's a 4:00 game. I'm thinking, all right, now's our time to go on a semi-run. I don't think we're going to Super Bowl that year. Let's just get hot. Let's get in the playoffs. Let's get in the tournament. Let's see what happens. Now it's time to start a run. Joe Judge was still the coach of the Giants. I'm like, this is done. Like, come
what
on.
A joke that was.
Like, come on. Denny Pennies, we'll get to him. He was, I'm like, this is a dub right here. And then when he went down, it felt awkwardly, but I saw before they even zoomed in that his leg was pointing the wrong way.
Ooh, I remember watching that game
in real time. And and so when the cart came out, the second he started crying, I started crying. I'm not even exaggerating. I'm like, damn, yo. Like,
I wanted to cry so bad when I saw Aaron Rodgers go to the sideline.
I wouldn't have blamed you. There were people at the stadium, I'm pretty sure, that lost it. Because again, Hard Knocks aside, all the hype aside, you guys haven't been in the playoffs, 13 years?
12 years.
12
most likely to be 13
years.
If Zach Wilson continues to be our quarterback.
So you guys have been waiting and waiting. You thought it was Zach Wilson. You thought it was this guy. You thought it was that guy. You thought it was Brett Favre. You know what I'm saying? You thought, and then you finally
get it. It was Mike White.
Thought it was Mike White. You talked to Jumping Ingo. He's got a Mike White tattoo on his freaking chest. Mike White's better than Zach Wilson. You guys, like, come on. This was supposed to be it. And I was excited to see him play. I was excited to see him sling it. I thought it would have been a great matchup this week coming up. We just beat the brakes off the Giants, and I was like, all right, but we got the boogeyman coming in, and has a long, illustrious history of breaking my heart in the playoffs. I was like, yo, yes, this will be a great matchup. Let's go. And plus on Monday night, Josh Allen versus Aaron Rodgers. Come on, that's must-see TV. It's box office. He goes down. I really legitimately thought it was just an ankle, but when he went down on his own and just couldn't get up, and then when he needed to be helped off, I was like, yo, this is bad. And before the cart came, I saw somebody peeked their head out of the tent and motioned for the cart. And I was like, yo, I think the cart's coming. And when they showed the cart, I was like, this is bad. This is real bad. And then as they started to show more replays, they zoomed in on his Achilles popping. I'm like, oh my God, this is terrible. This is terrible.
That was just like the Kevin Durant injury.
Yeah.
You saw it up close.
Yep. Like verbatim. Just for it to happen 4 plays in, I was like, you can't be serious. 4 plays in? Come on.
He couldn't even complete a pass.
I wanted to see dude play. I'm like, yo, let me see what he looks like with him and Garrett Wilson. He's got his boy Cobb. He's got his boy Lazard. They got Breece Hall. The offensive line, we talked about this.
Yes.
We talked about this. Talk about
and
chickens.
It came to bite him in the ass.
Yes. In the words of Malcolm X, the chickens came home to roost. Rest in peace, Malcolm X. Yo, your O-line, this is, and it's funny, Brian Broaddus, longtime NFL scout, he works for the Dallas Cowboys sports media department, mentioned this. Offensive linemen, finding 5 solid offensive linemen is a problem right now in the NFL. Because guys are coming out now and they want to play defensive end. They want to play defensive end. They want to play tight end. They want to play wide receiver. They're like, you get a super athletic guy who played basketball in high school. He meets up with a football coach. He's, listen, you got like a 50-inch vertical. You want to play defensive end and go hunt quarterbacks? Yes. You know what I'm saying? It's harder than ever to block these guys now. And the rules are slanted for offensive playmakers, for wide receivers, and for quarterbacks. But in the trenches is a completely different story. Like, it's like the Wild West out there.
Yep.
And so it's hard to find solid offensive linemen. And it's an issue that really hasn't really been a problem for Aaron Rodgers most of his career. But we mentioned it about last episode and definitely the episode before. That offensive line, it's okay, it's all good. That offensive line for you guys that's going to be a problem. That's got to be rectified. And it came home to roost and his season's over. But realistically, let me ask you, you said 5 wins. What are your realistic expectations for Zach Wilson? What do you think he's going to do? Do you think that it's going to be like a 4-game stretch where Salah's going to be like, listen, let me see what he looks like for a month. All right. And then I'll make the determination if we got to go. Because honestly, bro, I would love to see you guys at least break the streak, at least get in a tournament, get in as a wild card.
Yes.
And then who knows, get in with 9 wins or scrape, get 8, 9, or 10 wins, scrape in because you got the defense to do it as long as they stay healthy.
Right. Yeah.
Like scrape in, get in as a wild card, knock somebody off, give you guys a playoff win and give you guys something to build on. I would love to see that for you guys. I was rooting for that. So what are your realistic expectations for Zach Wilson now moving forward?
I before it was Zach Wilson with Aaron Rodgers, I felt like we would at least take 1 from the Buffalo Bills, which we already did without him. We would possibly
I saw that too.
We would probably take 1 out of 2 from the Dolphins and us sweeping New England, because I don't think New England, they got some weapons. They got Juju and they got Henry Hunter and Matt Judon and all these other ones, but Mac Jones isn't anything. I think that if Aaron Rodgers was still on the roster, if he was healthy and he was playing, Mac Jones is easily the worst quarterback in that division. I would have to say so. Although I will say that Josh Allen, he's starting to look a little bit suspect, and the Jets have had
We'll get to that. I've got some CM Punk pipe bombs for him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because there was some stats that they said in the game yesterday. Well, they had some positive stats, but one glaring stat that you couldn't overlook at all is that he has the most turnovers than any other quarterback in the Super Bowl era, as far as like top 5 is concerned.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I got some heat for him. I'm gonna get on my soapbox for him. But
shout out to Michael Lombardi. He also agrees.
Yes. He sat across, wasn't across from me. He was in the screen like Zordon. He was agreeing with me when I said he was the 3rd best quarterback in the AFC. And I'm right.
Yes.
Actually, I might be wrong. He might be lower than that if he keeps going with the turnovers. But continue. Back to Zach Wilson.
I feel, in all honesty, and I'm not being facetious here or anything this time, I do believe that there's a sense that he will be a little bit better, but not by much. I feel like, all right, he's not going to be as horrible as he was the last 2 years, especially last year, because he was just abysmal, and also the accountability problem that he seemed to have. I think that he has honestly ate some humble pie after what happened last year when he was benched for Mike White, and not only the benching, but all of his teammates had the Mike White t-shirts on, which I think Robert Saleh missed the mark on. For him to allow that to do that is not a good look for the organization. That says a lot about this quote-unquote face of the franchise, but that's besides the point.
Yeah.
But I think that Zach Wilson has been humbled, because as soon as he found out that Aaron Rodgers is going to be a New York Jet, he immediately knew that he was going to take a backseat to the season. And I will give him a little bit of credit in this aspect, because on September 11th, when the world is waiting for Aaron Rodgers to finally take the field as the New York Jet, Zach Wilson had no idea that he was going to get any snaps at all in the game. And then afterwards, for him to go into the game 4 snaps later, completely unprepared, not playing or practicing with the number 1s, and he did show a little bit of the Zach Wilson isms that frustrate me, like that throw across the body after pivoting, and then Matt Milano picks it off. That is the typical Zach Wilson isms that we're used to seeing. But I love the fact that he held his composure, and I like the fact that he took accountability. I think that Aaron Rodgers being in his ear has helped him out a little bit with his mechanics. And I don't know if it's just for show, but seeing the NFL films where on the sideline after Garrett Wilson makes one of the amazing catches that you will ever see, you could be a huge Jets hater, and you cannot deny how great of catch that Garrett Wilson
nuts. That's up there with the OBJ catch.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
absolutely.
And the Justin Jefferson catch.
Yes. Oh yeah.
That is
yes.
absolutely.
Yes,
Oh my God, he's so special, man.
Yeah, he's
I
good.
love Garrett Wilson, and I owe a big apology to Garrett Wilson because I remember in the draft when he was drafted, I wanted them to trade the number 10 pick so they can get Deebo Samuel, but I'm good with Garrett Wilson. But either way,
made the right decision.
yes. But I feel like I just feel like I think he will improve, but at the end of the day, I just think he is what he is, man. I think that he's going to be just another Sam Darnold. He's going to be another Bryce Petty. He's going to be not necessarily Christian Hackenberg, but he's just going to be another failed project of the Jets because they just don't have a quarterback culture up until now. But there's with the Achilles injury. Now, I will say, like I mentioned before, I think you'll have some slight improvements, but he's already in year 3 and he's still making the same mistakes that he's been doing for the last 2 years, especially in his rookie year. And the fact that he hasn't been able to get it off just yet, it's a little concerning. But I guess I'll wait a little bit more time because they no longer have Mike LaFleur. He's now in Los Angeles, and they have Nathaniel Hackett, who I think is an actual offensive mind, and I think he's a legit offensive coordinator. Head coach is very questionable, but as far as offensive coordinator, he's definitely cut his teeth out for that. And at the end of the day, man, the only thing that I feel comfortable as far as the Jets going forward this year and possibly make it to the playoffs is going the old Rex Ryan route where it's ground and pound. Go with Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook because they did show some amazing run game that game. And that defense, oh my God.
Special.
You know what?
Special.
I'll even say this right now. Week 2, you're going to see the 2 best defenses in the entire NFL the Cowboys and the Jets.
Yeah,
I think it'll be a low scoring game, but we're getting a little bit ahead.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that matchup. The Zach Wilson, part of it's not his fault. I'm really going to take him off the hook here. Like, I'm trying to find where he went to school. Do you remember where he went to school?
BYU.
Brigham Young. Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
So it's not his fault. It's not BYU's fault. I'm blaming the wrestling promo shows and the national media. I'm blaming them because they do this every year. Oh. And we've talked about this off camera a billion times. If you tune into the Ugo Boy podcast with Sports Talk with me and Mongo, love you, buddy. I haven't talked to him yet because I'm still letting him mourn. But I am going to talk to him before the game, definitely on Sunday.
By the way, I'm glad that he didn't see Hard Knocks after all, because it probably would have broke his heart by now.
I mean, this is why. Honestly, when I talk to him, the first thing he's going to say is going to be like, you see why I didn't watch? But no, it's the national wrestling promo shows. They do this every year with the G word. And I hate this word so much. For those who don't know what the G word is, generational. All right? A guy has a couple of crazy throws in a workout or even in a game here or there. Yeah. And then they drop that G word. They can't wait to drop that G word. They gave the generational tag to Zach Wilson. They gave it to insert quarterback over the last 3 or 4 years, Trevor Lawrence. Bryce Young's gotten it. CJ Stroud's gotten it. Will Levis was getting it, which I still think is comedy.
Wasn't Malik Willis getting it also?
Malik Willis? Bruh, they throw that G word with impunity. And it just blows my mind. So when I saw him struggle, I saw it coming because, again, who was he playing at BYU that made you that this guy was going to be a quote-unquote generational talent? I didn't see it. I didn't see it in the film. I didn't see it in the opponents. I watched a bunch of his highlights. I'm like, yo, he can make a lot of throws, but I don't see a cerebral assassin out there. I don't see a Triple H out there. I don't see a guy out there that dude's different.
Yeah, he's different. He hasn't done anything to wow me. How Patrick Mahomes will wow you, how Joe Burrow will wow you, how Josh Allen at times, got to give him a little bit of credit here and there. You know,
for sure.
He did get in his contract and everything. The way that, Tom Brady in his heyday would wow you, or Aaron Rodgers, Zach Wilson has never really done that. The only thing that I could think of that really made me think that, wow, this kid may have something is this amazing throw in his rookie year against the Tennessee Titans to Corey Davis. But at the same time, that was a play that shouldn't have been made. It was a throw that he didn't have to make. And I think it was just a very lucky catch that Corey Davis did. And it showed him how much of a cannon that Zach Wilson really does. but it's his intangibles
Yeah,
and the decision making. It's just it really hurts them.
it comes down to what can you do these 3 things? I said it during draft time. I say it every time when we do the Draft Super Show on my show, or
Right.
anytime someone asks me to give them draft analysis on other podcasts. Can you read coverages? Can you throw people open? And can you run a pro style offense from top to bottom? If you can't do all 3, backups can do at least 1, borderline 2.
2, yeah.
That's what an NFL career backup can do. And with Zach Wilson, he can barely do 1. In my opinion, he can barely do 1. And I get it. He's got cannon. Cannon can throw the ball 90 yards sitting down. What would he freaking do?
Yeah, you know what that means? And not to be crass here, but that's almost like somebody that's very well endowed, but they necessarily shouldn't do porn.
Exactly.
Anyway,
Exactly. Interesting analogy. Bill's lane. I'll allow it. You know what I mean? So but the difference is, and they mentioned it too on, I hate to quote the wrestling promo shows, but Keyshawn Johnson, he was a great addition to Undisputed with Skip and Richard Sherman, and of course, the playmaker Michael Irvin. Everybody loves Mike. He mentioned a great point. The quarterbacks that are getting drafted now are the Dak Prescott mold. You look at Richardson from Indianapolis, and you look at CJ Stroud this year. These guys, 7, 8, 9 years ago, they're considered 4th round, 5th round project quarterbacks.
Oh, yeah.
Now they're the prototype. You want a guy that, okay, his mechanics might need to be cleaned up, but he's got the build, he's got the arm, he's got the accuracy, and on top of that, you can do multiple things with him from a mobile standpoint. Jalen Hurts would have been a 5th to undrafted 7 to 8 years ago. He was a 2nd rounder. You know what I mean? Richardson was a 1st rounder. Stroud was a 1st rounder. Dak was a 4th rounder. And if Dak would have come out, fast forward, in this year, he'd be a 1st round pick. If they screw that, if they redid the 2016 draft, Dak goes first before Goff and Carson Wentz. Because again,
and that hasn't aged well either.
That's aged like milk in the sun, bro.
Yeah.
For real. Because again, the Carson Wentz mold and the Goff mold, they're dinosaurs now, because they're the guys that come from the West Coast or the Mountain West or FCS subdivision schools or whatnot, like a Trey Lance, that are just like, oh, he's got big fish, small pond. He's got a limited tape against freaking Utah Valley Community College. And you're thinking that, oh, no, this guy's a generation. Oh, there's that G word. This guy's generational.
Oh my God.
And look at where Trey Lance, I think he was inactive for the opener against with us or whatnot. And he's a project quarterback now. But again,
your entire team could have been inactive and still whooped the shit out of them.
We'll get to that. But again, I feel like I feel like Zach Wilson was a product of the media. He's a product of the TV experts and the gurus who just hyped up his stock and sent it through the roof. They showed one of his workouts where he off platform, off 1 foot, he threw it 60 yards and hit the receiver on the button.
I remember that.
I'm just like, okay, that's a hell of a throw, but okay, against cover 3, can he do that? Against cover 2, can he do that? Against a single high safety, can he do that? Can he make checks at the line? Is his offensive coordinator going to trust him to make checks at the line and slide protection and this, that, there? Can he do the intricacies about playing the quarterback from the neck up? Because honestly, to be one of the elites, to be a top 10 quarterback, let alone a top 15 quarterback, you don't just need, you can actually get away with having B+ mechanics and B+ like skill set. But if you're neck up, if you can dissect and whatnot, Tom Brady has some of the, he doesn't have perfect mechanics. He doesn't have the Josh Allen arm. Never had the Josh Allen arm.
No, he didn't. No.
But he's always had a B+ to A- arm. But from the neck up, he's been an A+.
Yeah.
Like the majority of his career, especially with Bill Belichick. These guys these generational guys, they get to the league, and then you find out really quickly, a la Carson Wentz, that from the neck up, they're like a D+. At best.
At best.
I'm being generous here.
Yes.
They'll throw it in a triple coverage thinking that it's single coverage, and that's like a day 1 install. That's like a rookie mini camp. Day 1, all right, we're going to give you a comeback route, and we're going to give you a corner route. So hit the comeback route. He'll throw the corner route every single time because he's got that generational arm, and then the OC is looking, bro, what are you doing? Throw the comeback. No, I can make that throw. You can make that throw against Utah Valley Community College, but you can't make that throw against the Cincinnati Bengals, against the 49ers, against the Eagles, against the Cowboys. You can't make that throw in the NFL. You know what I mean? You guys got a tall glass of water, bro. Like with Zach Wilson. That I'm interested. I know you guys are going to bring somebody in. I want you guys to go get a bus driver, to go get a Colt McCoy, or go get Flacco. He's not doing anything. Go get Flacco.
Oh my God.
Go get a bus driver. Don't get Nick Foles. Nick Foles washed. He's just as washed as Flacco. I was joking about Flacco.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Go get yourself a Colt McCoy or a Case Keenum. You know what I mean? Get somebody that, okay, he'll manage the game. He'll make 1 or 2 throws. He's not going to lose us the game. And we'll just struggle on and we'll try to churn out those 9 wins. Because I think 9 wins, that's the magic number. 9 wins should get you a wild card berth this year. I believe so. I really believe
And
so.
I'll take it because it's been so long since it feels eons ago when we were in the AFC Championship game against Pittsburgh before they went to the Super Bowl, and then ironically they got beat by Aaron Rodgers. That is the last
The
time.
irony.
Yes. Oh my God.
With Mike McCarthy.
Mike McCarthy has it.
It all comes
Full circle. It's coming full circle. Can you dig it?
God, you dig it. We're
Oh,
Shaq.
my
We're
God.
Shaq. Love you, Shaq. Newark's own, Jersey's own.
Yeah. But anyway, let's focus a little bit on the positive of the Jets.
Yeah.
That defense.
Yeah.
Wow.
Championship
Elite.
level. Championship
Yeah.
level. There's three. Sorry, I cut you off. There's 3 defenses right now that you can say after week 1 that you could. One of those 3 defenses is good enough to win a Lombardi. It's you guys. It's San Fran and it's the Cowboys.
Yes.
Unequivocally, those 3 defenses.
And it's nice to know that we probably have the best defense in the AFC.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Because right now it's between you and San Fran in the NFC.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
And also give a big shout out to Jordan Whitehead. Did you read the story about Jordan Whitehead? It was so awesome.
No, I didn't.
So Jordan Whitehead, when in his contract for this year, they said that if he gets 3 or more interceptions, he gets a $250,000
I saw
bonus.
that tweet. My bad. I'm blanking out here. I saw that tweet right after the game. Someone
Yeah.
tweeted that out. I think a Jet beat writer.
Yeah, for Jordan Whitehead.
Yeah.
Jordan Whitehead was due an extra $250,000 if he gets 3 or more interceptions throughout the season. He did it in one game.
night.
He did it against one quarterback. Josh Allen was seeing number 3 all night. That's you can make the argument that Josh Allen made more passes to the Jets players than Zach Wilson did.
Savage.
So big up to Jordan Whitehead. But you know what? That was another thing that Joe Benega was alluding to last year. We had a pretty good defense last year,
Yeah.
but the problems that we had was the takeaways.
Yeah.
In the last, and this is proof. In the last 8 games of the last year of the Jet season, we only had 2 takeaways. We had 4. We doubled that in 1 game.
Yeah.
And that defensive line is scary with Quentin Williams and Michael Clemens and John Franklin Myers and a whole bunch of other guys.
And McDonald, your first round
mhm.
pick. You didn't even really hear his name, but you know
Right.
he was. He goes on.
And then you got Sauce and DJ Reed doing what they do. They're
My guy Sauce.
They're not exactly Revis and Cromartie. They'll be good. I was a little disappointed in Sauce being a little exposed by Stephon Diggs.
But he's going to do that to a lot of guys.
Yeah.
He's a top 10, borderline top 5 receiver in this league. So
Mm-hmm.
there's no shame. There is no shame in that. Diggs he's a tough match.
Yeah.
He's a really tough match.
I can't imagine the Sauce against Gallup.
It's probably going to be, so the thing, we can fast forward to the Cowboy game. So we'll preview that and then we'll get to the Cowboy recap. So it's CD plays primarily in the slot.
CeeDee Lamb. I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Yeah, Sedarian Lamb, or CDYAC, as Mel Kiper called him on draft night. Perfect nickname.
Shout out to Mel Kiper.
Shout out to Mel Kiper, one of the best of his.
Absolutely.
Even though he dyes his hair. But no, CD, he does most of his damage in the slot.
Mhm.
And Sauce has lined up like less than 5% of his career in the slot. He doesn't really go in there.
So you're going to have to rely on either DJ Reed or the safeties.
Yeah, so you're going to see a lot of, if Cooks plays, because we still don't know if Cooks is going to play or not, it's going to be a lot of Sauce against Cooks or Sauce against Gallup. That's going to be a nice matchup because Gallup's really physical. And again, he's healthy for the first time.
Yeah.
Last year, he was a shell of himself coming off that ALCS, the ACL. You're not going to see the Yankees in that.
Oh, don't even get me started with the Yankees.
We'll save that. We'll save that. But no, he was a shell of himself last year coming off the ACL injury, but he's healthy now. And he had a great camp, and he stayed out of preseason too, but he's looked really good. He's looked like his old self. Made a lot of highlight plays his first few years in the league. And again, when he had great rapport with Dak, I want to say probably his 2nd or 3rd year, I was like, yeah, that guy's a stud. So he's back to that. So that's going to be a nice matchup. And from time to time, CD's going to go on the outside because he can go out there too. It's just he does a lot of damage in the slot. But when Sauce and CD are matched up, that's going to be box office. I'm really excited for that matchup.
Yeah, I actually think that it is going to be a low-scoring game because I think these defenses are just stout. I mean,
Yeah, agreed.
Dak Prescott has to worry about John Franklin Myers and Jermaine Johnson and Quentin Williams and everything. But Zach Wilson, he's going to be running for his life when it comes to Micah Parsons. Oh, my God.
Mike is not from this world.
No,
he's not. He's Lord have mercy. Like, again, he was good at Penn State. He was all world as a linebacker. At Penn State. And when we would blitz him, he was very effective. Every time we blitzed him, I was like, yo, we should blitz him more. He gets a sack every time we blitz him. But him as like a primary like defensive end, because we have tons of defensive ends. That's why it didn't make sense to even put him there. But man, oh man, I think he started his second game of the season. We played the Chargers because we lost a bunch of guys against the Bucs in the opener in his rookie year. And I think 6 or 7 pressures in his first game at defensive end. And they were asking, it was like, dude, when's the last time you played defensive end? And he's high school. I'm like, bro, it's your second NFL game. And
now, I know you hate this word, but I think you could apply the G word to Micah
Oh,
Parsons.
yeah. There are some people that deserve the G word.
Yeah.
Micah deserves the G word. Like he's earned that. God, like he's special. He's such a bad matchup for you can't. It's to the point now where he's got the Nick Bosa, TJ Watt, Aaron Donald treatment.
Yeah.
Where you can't single him. If you want to single him up for half the game, you're playing yourself. Like DJ Khaled. You want to single him up for 60% of the game, you're playing. I don't care how good your tackle is. I could care less who's out there. It could be Larry Allen in his prime. You really want to do that? Because he's gonna win at some point. You better double team him.
I know. And let me tell you, this is how much Micah Parsons scares me, because even if Aaron Rodgers is playing in this game healthy, like ready to go, I think that Micah Parsons will frustrate him. That's how good he is. As great as Aaron Rodgers is with his intangibles and from the neck up and his arm and everything, he still has a great arm as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
But,
absolutely.
But Micah Parsons, I don't know, man. He's, I don't know if it's blasphemous to say Lawrence Taylor 2.0, but
I believe right now with the way that Dan Quinn is using him, because Dan Quinn is smart enough to realize, all right, I'm going to use him a lot of defensive end. That's his. I guess that would be his best position.
MO,
yeah. But putting him and using him as a chess piece opens up everything else for all the other defensive linemen. And we have a deep defensive line room with Dante Fowler, former top 5 pick. We got DeMarcus Lawrence is still there wreaking havoc on the other side, and he's healthy. We keep Hankins inside to free guys up. We drafted Mozzie Smith inside to free guys up or whatnot. And Golston is out there, and Sam Williams is out there. Like we have one of the deepest just defensive lines. It's to the point where we can't really draft anybody because, like, how are they going to see the field?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At defensive end, we can't draft defensive ends. We got to draft friggin' defensive tackles. That's why we drafted Mozzie and not somebody else like McDonald or whatnot that you guys grabbed, because we're just like, yo, where are we going to put him? You see what I'm saying? So no, like, Mike is amazing. I wore his jersey to the game.
That's a nice segue, actually. That's a perfect segue. But just to put a bow on this real quick.
Yeah.
So I really, the rest of the season, I expect this defense to be stout.
Yeah,
I expect it to be elite, but they just got to stay healthy. That's my only concern. Health is my only concern, but other than that, I have no worries with this defense. I am very proud of this defense.
We should be.
Yes. So now let's pivot over to the other football team in the state. I mean, in the city, which
or state too, Jersey too, unquote Jersey.
And let's talk about the absolute threat. Listen, bro, it is so crazy that I've been a long-suffering Jets fan all my life, and I've seen some bad losses. I cannot recall a loss the Jets have ever suffered that the way that the Giants received at the hands of your Cowboys. In a national stage, in your own home stadium. It's week 1, all the hoopla, and everybody's excited because they're coming off a fantastic playoff run that nobody expected. You got Brian Daboll as the coach of the year, all of this going on, and then it's like the Giants turned into the Jets. It was very Jet. Oh my God. I don't know how to contextualize it to words. I'm just thinking that, you know what? Props to Danny Dimes or Danny Pennies.
Danny Pennies. On this show.
Yeah.
He's Danny Pennies.
I'll give him a little bit of props because he was able to rob the Maras with that contract.
That's a savage.
Yes, savage. But you know what? You are the Cowboy man. I will let you take away. I want you to gloat. I want you to relish in this victory. And I can imagine the euphoric feeling that you were at the stadium with Chop Sports Media. Shout out to Chop Sports.
Shout out to Chop City, baby. Love you, dog.
There you go. Great episode, by the way, with him and Mongo. That was a great guys. You guys gotta go check out the Ugo
episode 28, man. We on location at Chop Studios in Matawan, New Jersey.
Yeah, there you go.
That was a perfect episode.
So yeah, I want to be in Ugo's shoes. I want to know what it was like, that euphoric feeling of just defeating, thrashing your rival, the New York Football Giants, in MetLife Stadium. At this point, it should be called JetLife Stadium after week 1. But I want to take me through that experience, man, because that's something that I've never experienced and probably never will. But I want to be in Ugo Boy's shoes, even for those 2 hours.
Oh my God, it was such a beautiful feeling, man. I remember my first game in that stadium. It was 2015, the year Romo got hurt, broke his collarbone a couple times that year. Matt Castle was the quarterback, and we lost to Eli Manning and the Giants. 1-score game. We got the ball back with a chance to tie. Cole Beasley muffed the punt. And I was sitting next to this Giant fan, this old white guy, and he was just laughing. This guy was laughing in my face. He left right afterward. He's like, bye. I remember his hand in my face waving bye.
Oh my God.
Like yesterday. And I was like, this is terrible.
One thing I will say real quick before I let you continue,
go ahead.
I do believe that the Giant organization and the Giants players has been John Mara even, they've been a classy organization and a classy owner. Can't really say the same for their fans. But
no,
anyway, continue.
Not at all. The Giant fans they call Cowboy fans delusional. That's like the running gag with a lot of other fan bases, especially within the NFC East.
I call the Giants lucky.
I call them beyond lucky. Like, they won their 2 Super Bowls not because Eli Manning is this amazing quarterback. It's because they had great defenses. And
that was a great guys. You guys gotta go.
And luck. Like,
you had to have one of the most amazing catches, the helmet catch.
And then in the second one, an amazing catch by Manningham on the sideline. Yeah. That's like a less than 1% chance of a catch or whatnot. Don't get me started on that. But again, so the thing with Giant fans is they understand that, like, Jersey, we're just talking about Jersey. We're just talking about New Jersey. New Jersey is not necessarily Giant land. It's not just Giant country. In New Jersey, you're either a New York Giant fan, a New York Jet fan, or a Dallas Cowboy fan. Like, we show up.
Sprinkle with a little bit of Steelers.
Sprinkle a little Steelers in there, little Philly, especially if you go south toward
little Raiders here. Yeah. And then also those fraud Patriot fans.
Of course,
but anyway.
Of course, yes. Good way to mention them. But no, the majority, so 15, the first Cowboy game I went to there, it was probably about 50-50, 55-45 Cowboy fans. There's a lot of Dallas fans in here from the 90s, which is why I'm a fan.
It's Dallas East.
Exactly, or Dallas North if you're coming from Texas or whatnot. Like, 100%. You know that coming in that we're rolling deep. And especially the last few times, Dak Prescott has won 11 straight against them. I think we've won 11 out of the last 12 against it's not a rivalry. It's not. Like, they've been
a classy organization and classy owner.
The last time we lost to the Giants when Dak was the starter was 2016. I believe Obama was still in office. I believe he was.
Just right before the election.
Exactly. So and the last time they beat us with Dak, it was with Andy Dalton. That's the only time Daniel Jones has beaten the Cowboys with Andy Dalton at quarterback.
That was 7 years ago.
Exactly. So again, going in, Cowboy fans, we know we're going to take the stadium over. We already know that coming in. That's a given. Whether we win or lose, we're rolling deep. And the fact that Giant fans, they love to bring up, you guys haven't won a Super Bowl since the 90s. And Jerry Jones is ruining your team. And we got 2 Super Bowls from Eli Manning, this, that, and the third. I always say this thing to Giant fans every single time. Part of this is not your fault, and part of this is your fault. Like, it's like, it goes hand in hand. You guys have this amazing, you call us delusional? You guys have this delusion that you're this first-class organization, not first-class, second place, first-class organization that is just reeling off Super Bowl dynasties every 3 or 4 years, and that's not the case.
No.
That's not the case. Even in Eli Manning's career, like, we're even going back to his career, outside of those 2 Super Bowl runs, he missed the playoffs the majority of his career.
Yes.
He missed the playoffs. Or he led the league or was top 5 in the league in interceptions.
Yes.
He was above average in sacks as well. He was an above average to good quarterback, and he led a lot of game-winning drives. I'll give him that. But he was nowhere near his brother, and from a pure talent level, he was not better than Tony Romo. He had better teams and better coaching than Tony Romo. I'll give them that. But quarterback for quarterback, who would I take? Give me Romo 10 times out of 10 times. Or I'll take Tiki Barber's model where he said that, I'll take Daniel Jones 100 times out of 100 times over Dak Prescott. How you looking now, Tiki? You see what I'm saying? So it's that delusion, I'm going to blame them for that. They got to hold that. They got to earn that. They wear that right there. The other delusion that's not their fault is they've been sold a dream that last year, because they got a really soft schedule. They played the AFC South. They beat up on a lot of bad teams. Daniel Jones did a lot of running. Saquon stayed healthy. And I said this before last season started. Saquon's going to have 400 to 500 touches. Dable is a smart enough coach to be like, all right, I'm not going to have Daniel Jones sling it 40 times a game. We're going to run the team and run the offense through Saquon, our best player, and we're going to try to limit turnovers. And if he can cut down on turnovers, you call us delusional? You guys have this delusion, but you're not getting that this year. You're not going to be able to do that. Yeah, Saquon, you're still going to get about 400 to 500 touches, something crazy like that. That's still going to happen, and hopefully he stays healthy because I love Saquon. That's Penn State right there. I'll always want it. But they have, and I blamed it on the last episode. And Dan Orlovsky, Dan-O, Michael Lombardi's favorite guy.
Who also said that Zach Wilson is going to be the next Patrick Mahomes.
Yes. Again, see, the national media during the offseason hyped their heads up off this planet thinking that Daniel Jones was that guy. I'm like, he was never that guy. He wasn't that guy at Duke. He wasn't that guy in year one. He's gotten how many coaches fired now? How many? You see what I'm saying? Two. So he was Shermer, Judge, and he's on Dable.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? He's on coach number 3. Like, he's not that guy. Merrill Hodge, the day after the draft, said what I said going in. He's, the Giants are going to regret this. This guy's going to be a career backup. He's marked my words. I don't see it. I don't see what Gettleman sees, that this guy is that G word, is a generational quarterback. Just because a guy, his family grew up around the Mannings, and he went to all the Manning passing camps, and he's got similar mechanics and talks, cadences like a Manning, that doesn't mean that he's Peyton Manning.
Eli
Manning. Peyton or Eli, any of the Mannings, or Archie, or whoever. Even the one that's at Tennessee now. He's none of the Mannings. You know what I'm saying? He's a Walmart store brand version of Eli Manning. That's what Daniel Penny's is.
Oh my God.
He is. So the thing with the Giant fans is they've been hyped up all year, and I said this on the last episode, they've been bad for a lot of years. Last time they made the playoffs was 2016. A lot of double-digit losses there, losing seasons, a lot of bad losses within the division, and they're nowhere near, in particular, Dallas or Philly. Don LaGreca said this the following day. I remember I shared it with you.
Yes, you did.
He went in, and it's all long season they've been told and sold this dream that, he's going to take that next step. He's with Dable now. And I was like, why? Because you got Darren Waller, a guy who is a Pro Bowler and a great talent, but can't stay healthy.
No, injury prone.
Injury prone. Who else have you gotten that is going to transform this offense, like I mentioned in the last episode, to the 99 Rams? Who? Darren Waller and who? Darius Slayton? Paris Campbell? This is Ohio State. Jalen Hyatt? This isn't Tennessee. This isn't the SEC. This is the NFL. This is the NFC East in particular. Nothing in your offense that you got in the offseason has me thinking, damn, that's going to be a problem for our defense. Man. We're going to have to, So going into the game, I'm like, if we stop the run and if we don't allow Daniel Jones or Danny Pennies to run all over us, I'm like, if we do what we always do when we play the Giants, if we shut down Saquon and we don't turn the ball over and we don't allow Daniel Jones to run around, we should beat them pretty handily. And that's exactly what we did. Dan Quinn understands what anyone with half a brain understands. Right? I don't have to double anybody. Even freaking Waller. We had Wanye Thomas, our fifth safety, who I love, by the way. Yeah, Wanye, like for Boys the Men, he was covering Waller and locking that ass up. Locked him up. You know what I mean? You got Gilmore. He put their receiver on Rikers. Diggs, he put their receiver on Rikers. It was 26-0 at halftime. And again, they can't move the ball on us because they don't have anybody that, like, we got to devote extra attention to. That's a legit matchup right there, outside of Waller. You see what I'm saying? So Giant fans really believed, and again, that part, again, I'm not going to blame them on it. That part, national media sold them a dream. Just because your quarterback is paid like a high-end quarterback doesn't mean he's a high-end quarterback. It means the market dictated that he was due $40 million, and they screwed up. I told my cousin this, who's a Giant fan, who wanted to watch the game with me. He's lucky because I went to the game. I was like, I told him this. I was like, you guys are about to make a mistake. You guys should tag Daniel Jones. Let this year be a final audition for him. If he takes that next step and he shows he's that guy, pay him and then continue to build around him and put weapons around him. But if he doesn't show that he's that guy, get him out of there. What do? They tag Saquon and they pay the quarterback because their owner still thinks that he's old Jerry Jones. He still makes football decisions. Their owner Mara really in his heart of hearts, really believes that Daniel Jones is the second coming of Eli Manning, and he's a franchise quarterback, and he's one of the and given his development, he's going to be a top 5 passer in this league. He really believes that. You cannot tell me that Dable believes that, because I'm not going to believe you. You're not going to tell me that. I don't believe it either. You're not going to tell me that Sheen, their GM, who also came with him from Buffalo, you're not going to tell me that he believes it. They got a mandate from the owner telling them, I mean, you got Gilmore.
The same owner that said that, no, we got to give Eli one more year so he could win us a championship.
And then another year. And then another year.
Which we knew it was already time.
Washed.
Yes.
Eli was tied, fabric softener washed. Everyone saw it. Washed. And he threw him back out there, put a whole bunch of free agents around him. They made the playoffs in 2016 with McAdoo. And I was like, yo, even after I was like, give this a year or two. All those free agents are going to walk because they're not that good. They overpaid. You can't just throw money at your problems in free agency and think that that's going to solve it. They don't know how to draft. You see what I'm saying? That's the other issue with the Giants. They've gotten better now. They've gotten better now with Dable and Sheen. They know how to draft now, but they still have a foundational issue because their owner is making football decisions. And as long as your owner makes football decisions, you will not win in this league. It's why why we went through 3 straight 5-11 seasons with freaking Dave Campo that I mentioned before or whatnot, and why we draft well consistently now, and why we have a juggernaut now, offensively and defensively, because Jerry Jones took a step back. He sat his old ass down, and he let Will McClay hit. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Until Mara does that, and until they get rid of Daniel Jones in particular, they're not winning anything. You're going to see a lot of that because they play the Eagles twice. They play us again. They play the 49ers in a couple weeks, and you're going to see a lot more of that. You see what I'm saying? Because Daniel Jones is not that guy.
No,
he's not that guy. I'm sorry. I don't know how else to tell you, bro. He's not that guy.
I just the Zach Wilson argument, and I'm not comparing because Daniel Jones is actually a better quarterback than Zach Wilson.
And that's crazy. That's insane to say, but go ahead.
But it's true. I can't lie. We're not going to give Zach Wilson a second contract unless he becomes the second coming of Aaron Rodgers. But he never done anything to wow me. There was this one play where he probably could have wowed me when he was running against the Eagles, and he fell. Oh my God!
Cue the Benny Hill music.
Where's Chris Abalo?
Oh my God! Yeah, shout out to Chris Abalo.
Shout out Chris, lay down.
Yeah, no. But as far as the continuing on the Giants though, they have Arizona right now.
Yeah.
If the Giants go in this 0-2 against a team that is projected to be the worst in the league, and they want to lose the season and they want to get a franchise quarterback and start over from scratch and everything. If the Giants go 1-2, because that's another thing too. Even though Arizona is not a good team, they lost week 1.
They should be Washington. They're actually real close to being Washington.
It was a competitive game.
Yeah.
Which is something that was not competitive at all. And the Giants and competitive were non-existent on week 1. You can even argue that was the second worst disaster ever to hit New York City in recent memory. But anyway, that's beside the point. They start off 0-2. The season's over. It's already halfway there because I feel like not only did they get thrashed, but I feel like a loss like that can demoralize them.
Yeah, I personally think they'll win against Arizona. I just think they should. Arizona's that bad, and they want Caleb Williams. I don't care what.
Yes, they do.
I don't care what the hell they say.
And I'm not a college guy, but Caleb Williams, wow.
Yeah, he's legit. Yes. And Deion's kid, Shador, too. There's a lot. This upcoming quarterback class is the real deal. So thus far, but I think the Giants again, they are not going to get away with a soft schedule this year.
No, they're not.
And
they're not facing the AFC South.
No, they have a lot of primetime games too. That's not the only primetime game they're getting. They're getting the Cowboy treatment, just like you guys are getting the Cowboy treatment too. They got a lot of 4 or 5 or 6 primetime games. So you don't see a lot of Daniel Jones on your TV set with the lights down, and the sky's out and the moon out. We've been waiting all day for Sunday night. You're gonna hear that a lot.
No.
For Giants game. So but I'm with you. This is a big game for them. I think they'll bounce back. I'm not out on Dable. Some Giant fans are. Some are already.
Oh my. Listen, I'm not. No, me neither. As much as I've alluded to this before in earlier episodes.
Yeah.
As much as I love Robert Saleh, and I do love Robert Saleh, I want to run through a freaking brick wall for him because of his speeches and that beautiful bald head of his and everything. But I mentioned that before they hired Robert Saleh, Brian Dable was my number 1 guy to lead to be the head coach of the New York Jets.
Yeah.
He didn't do it. He stayed in Buffalo, and then the Giants got him. And I kept on telling every Giant fan that was expecting a bad season as him as a rookie head coach, I was like, trust me, this is your guy. I'm more bullish on him than all the Giant fans are.
You're not going to see the best of Saleh until he gets his quarterback.
Yes.
Just like the Giants aren't going to see the best of Dable until he gets his quarterback.
Right.
And I'll give you the opposite. You're already seeing the best of McCarthy. You saw it with Rodgers when Rodgers was in his prime, and they were consistently in the playoffs and won a Super Bowl. And I don't care what the haters say, you're seeing it now with Dak because he's got his guy. Dak's about to get his contract extension. When he does, I'm going to call you right up and be like, I guess I told you. You didn't doubt me, though, what's coming or whatnot. But Dak Prescott, I said this on my show, Dak Prescott is the best quarterback we've had. I'll put him past Romo. He's the best we've had since Aikman. Just in terms of consistent
statement,
consistent numbers, consistent wins. Like the thing with Romo didn't settle into the quarterback that I believed he could be until like 2014. Mind you, he became the starter in 2006. It took him 8 years.
Yeah.
And granted, a lot of that was because we had an idiot as a head coach in Jason Garrett and another idiot before that in Wade Phillips.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, so coaching had a lot to do with that. And it definitely stifled his development. I feel like if Parcells had stuck around and stuck it out for 1 or 2 more years, mark my words, they would have. I'm not saying they would have won a Super Bowl. They would have at least gone on a run. The conference championship drought would have been done with. I'll say that unequivocally. And if we had gotten Sean Payton as well, because Sean Payton was on that staff when Romo, and actually Sean Payton's the reason why we even signed Tony Romo, because he went to Eastern Illinois, Romo went to Eastern Illinois, so he actually knew about him and nobody else did. So it's just, coaching had a lot to do with it. And to bring it full circle, you're not going to see you're seeing a lot of good right now from Saleh. And I feel like with Aaron Rodgers, you would have saw another level of that, of Saleh, because I think he's the real deal. I absolutely believe he is. But when you guys get your quarterback, your real franchise quarterback,
yes,
not a masked man, your real franchise quarterback, you're going to see.
Very Scooby-Doo-like.
Yeah, very got away with it if he blasted kids. Like you're going to see the best version of Robert Saleh when you guys get your quarterback. The Giants will see the best version of their coach, Dable. When they get their quarterback, they just will, because a franchise quarterback, it gives the coach such a freedom and a peace of mind. Okay, I don't have to call every single game left-handed and I have to make all these concessions because I know my quarterback is not good. Go get Kyle Shanahan now. They made it to the Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo. They did. I troll my brother for this all the time. I was like, you guys made the Super Bowl, but
he's a Niners fan?
He's a Niners fan,
okay.
Yep. Diehard Niners fan. But he knows, just like every Niner fan knows, and even Kyle Shanahan knew unequivocally, we are winning in spite of our quarterback. I have to limit his throws. I've got to limit his decision making because it's questionable or whatnot, and I can't do everything I want to do on a weekly basis. He has that with Purdy for now. Like, we still got to see it. Thus far, what he showed against the Steelers, what he showed against the Steelers was legit.
Yes.
If that's the guy, if that's the real Brock Purdy, yeah, they found their guy. They definitely did. But again, just to wrap that up, Daniel Jones is not a franchise quarterback. Zach Wilson is not a franchise quarterback.
No.
And the coaching is going to not reach its full potential until those organizations receive a franchise quarterback.
And by the way, who was the defensive coordinator of that San Francisco 49er team that went to the Super Bowl?
Robert Saleh.
There you go. All right.
And who was their offense coordinator about 10 or 15 years before that? Mike McCarthy.
Mike McCarthy.
The name of this episode is Full Circle.
Full circle.
All right. The matchup this week against the Jets, against the Cowboys.
Yep.
What are your expectations?
My expectations is a very physical, low-scoring, whoever turns the ball over, like turnovers typically decide the outcome of game. Turnovers and penalties. Turnovers and penalties. That's going to be the key, because you're talking about 2 top 3 defenses, not even top 5, 2 top 3 defenses in the league right now. It's going to be a situation where if you guys get some takeaways, some extra possessions, give Zach Wilson some short fields, if you guys run the ball effectively, because I still got to see us stop the run on a consistent basis. Like even early on, Giants were gashing us early on. That opening drive was not fun. Like, I'm sitting there in a section of mostly Cowboy fans. I'm like, here we go again. So here we go again.
And besides, that Buffalo defense is not anything special anyway, especially since they lost Leslie Frazier. Dallas is a different beast.
Yeah, completely, totally. So it's going to come down to turnovers. It's going to come down to turnovers. It's going to come down to the field goals, efficiency on third down, all the major key in-game metrics that really decide games. It's one of those types of games because the defenses are both championship level. So I think my expectations I want to see this off now that we're not playing in a tsunami, weather-wise. It's dry. It's the home opener. We're indoors. I think Cooks is going to play. That's 50-50, but if Cooks plays, we'll have our full complement of offensive weapons. I want to see our offense be efficient with Mike as the play caller, because actually, I was actually very efficient against even in the tsunami against the Giants. It was like I saw the difference in play calling styles. Mike understood. I'll put it to you like this: if Kellen Moore would have been the play caller against the Giants, there would have. I'm almost positive low scoring, either off a tipped ball or because there were typically decide the outcome of the game. Turnovers and penalties. Turnovers and penalties. That which I mentioned when I had Mike Lombardi on my show.
Right.
Like he understands that, okay, the weather is terrible. It is shitty today. All right. We've got to run the ball efficiently. We've got to have safe throws. And we just got to keep the clock moving, keep our defense fresh, get the field goals, take what they give us, and play a efficient game or whatnot. Nothing wrong with that. The Eagles won 13 games with that model. Just play clean, efficient, don't turn the ball over. We've got a loaded defense. We've got weapons as well. Let's just be efficient and not go for if it's there, take it. If it's not, check it out. Nothing wrong with being a check down Charlie. So I think that I want to see Mike McCarthy in his element. Really, this first quarter of the season, these first 4 games, I want to see Mike cook. I want to see how he wants to operate and use Dak and use the weapons that we have on the offensive side. Because I'm not worried about the defense. Like Dan Quinn for president. Like whatever Jerry gave him to stay last year, he's gonna have to give him. He might have to double that. The price of the brick just went up. So yeah. So
Jeff Holbrook would like a word, please.
So my expectations coming in is a physical, low scoring game. I think we're gonna get after your guy because your offensive line is struggling. I think we're gonna get after Zach.
I have confidence. I have confidence in Elijah Vera Tucker.
Yeah, first rounder.
First rounder. And he's a great player. He was great for us until he got injured last year in Denver. I still have my questions about McCoy. He did play a pretty decent, solid game last week, considering the fact that he had to move from left to right tackle.
Yeah.
But Dwayne Brown scares me because Dwayne Brown is the reason why Aaron Rodgers is not our quarterback this season.
And he apologized for it.
He did apologize for it. Like Michael K would say, sorry doesn't fix the lamp. I'm sorry. But as far as what I expected, I'm going to say that I think that this is going to be a very low-scoring game, just like you. I think that both defenses are going to be stout. I think that early on, the offenses will struggle. They're going to try to find their footing because the defense is just going to wreak havoc on both sides.
Yeah.
But I fully expect the Cowboys to win this game. I do think that they'll get it figured out better than the Jets will offensively. I think that maybe you might see a hell of a play from Garrett Wilson or a nice run from Breece Hall or Dalvin Cook, but I don't think it'll be enough. I think that I do think that Zach Wilson will be picked off twice, possibly, because I just don't trust his defense reading schemes just yet.
Yeah.
And what's crazy about Zach Wilson is like he's 6'2", but on TV he looks like he's 5'8". I don't know if it's his build or whatever, but he's just not a very big quarterback. And I just think that he's going to try to play hero ball. Unfortunately, I don't think that's something that he's been able to shake off yet. It all goes down to coaching. I love Robert Saleh, but I think Mike McCarthy is a little bit more seasoned. And also, this can't be ignored, unfortunately. It also comes down to officiating because, listen,
that's true.
I feel like with the officials, you guys are going to have the advantage because I remember last week when Zach Wilson almost got his head knocked off by Mike Milano and nobody decided to throw a roughing the passer flag. If that happened to Patrick Mahomes, if that happened to Joe Burrow, even if it happened to Aaron Rodgers, if he didn't get help, if he didn't get injured, then that would have got that call. But because it's the Jets and because it's Zach Wilson, no call on the play for roughing the passer. So I expected on a Monday, on America's Game of the Week, if it's on Fox, because usually it is with the Cowboys, and it's going to be at 4:25, and if it's America's Game of the Week, and it's going to be nationally televised, and everybody's going to be watching in Jerry's world, and the Jets were supposed to be this big juggernaut of a team until our quarterback got injured, all eyes are going to be on us. And I hate to say this, and I know that Joe Benega would vouch for me 100 times over this with Dean Blandino and all these other officiators. Anyway.
Joe Testador, all those guys.
Oh my God. I just feel filthy just even saying that right now. Yeah. But the point that I'm getting at is that I do think that officiating is going to play some kind of factor in this game.
Yeah,
I would not be surprised if the Jets get hosed on the very last play that goes to the Dallas's way. Not to cheapen the win, because I do guys expect you to win, but I'm just saying, don't be surprised if there's some kind of bull BS call that I would even think that you Cowboys fans would be like, I don't know about that, but I'll still take it.
Listen, I have to refute that. I think it's because Roger Goodell secretly hates Jerry Jones. We've been housed You want proof? Look at the Dez catch. I still keep going back to that.
Oh my God.
The Dez catch
back in Green Bay.
In Green Bay at home in 2016 in the playoffs, they called it was like a weird version of like too many men in the huddle or some shit like that. And then they were just like, yeah, that call has been made like twice in the last 15 years. I was just like, they called it a playoff game against the Cowboys? Interesting. And dude, just go back to Thanksgiving a couple years ago against the Raiders. You see what I'm saying? Like they called how many pass interferences on us? And mind you, we were at home on Anthony Brown, who's not on the roster anymore. You know what I mean? Officials saying that we've got the officiating edge, bro. Again, you're talking to a Cowboy fan that's 35, bro. Like this,
I do expect a lot of flags in this game. Also.
Oh yeah, we've now mind you,
on both sides.
Yeah, we've cleaned up penalties, especially like last year. 2 years ago, penalties were a problem. We led the league in penalties.
Yeah, you guys were. Oh my God, so many penalties.
We lost at home to the 49ers the first time because of penalties. Like for real. Penalties and because Kellen Moore's an idiot. You know what I'm saying? Like we lost that game, but mostly penalties. We beat ourselves and lost at home to Jimmy Garoppolo because every single play was a freaking offsides or a holding or a defensive holding or an offensive pass interference or blocking a back. And so what I'm saying is I will never say we've got the advantage with officials, but with officiating and the refs and the zebras. But I'm with you. I think that they'll be horrible because they're always horrible. That's the NFL. Like I know that going in. So my goal is always, yo, guys, get up to a couple scores. Like try to take it out of their hands because if it's late and it's tight, like some nonsense gets called. But I'm with you. It's gonna be a tight game. It's gonna be a good game, and it's gonna be on CBS. So Romo's gonna be on the call with Jim Nance. It'll be
so
on
that way it's gonna be a Cowboy broadcast. Thank you very much, Tony Romo. But anyway, if I hate to do predictions. Do you want to do score predictions or?
Yeah, we could.
Okay,
we could.
I know that the Jets are a 10-point underdog in this game. Before Aaron Rodgers got hurt, I think the line was like maybe 3.5 or something like that. But now it's at 10.
I think it was at 9.5 yesterday. I think it's up to 10 now.
It's up to 10 now, but I'm gonna go ahead. I think it'd actually be a little bit closer than that. I'm gonna say Cowboys win 20-17.
I go 24-14. I think you guys scored 2 touchdowns. Actually, honestly, it'll probably be like 17-14 for 3 quarters, and then we'll probably get like a clinching score, like on a CD touchdown or something late. But I'll put it to you like this: it's gonna be tight for the majority of the game. Late, if the pass rush starts to get home, yeah, you're gonna see that Zach Wilson interception or that sack fumble, or the offensive line's gonna implode, something like that.
I wouldn't be surprised if you guys get a pick 6.
Yeah. I mean, listen, Gilmore
has had the Jets. He's had the Jets number for a while when he was in New England.
Yeah. So and if you're not going to throw a Diggs, you got to throw a Gilmore. If you're not going to throw a Gilmore, you got to throw a Diggs. So what are you going to do? Yeah, one of the underrated signings or trades not made by Jerry Jones, made by Stephen Jones and Will McClay. I'm going to keep saying that. That's going to be you're going to hear me say that a lot, like a Tribe Called Quest. Yes, you're going to hear that. You're going to hear that a lot on this show. Will McClay, not Stephen Jones. Excuse me, not Jerry Jones. That was a great underrated move right there because he's still a top 10 corner in the league easily. But yeah,
and he's a vet and he's a champ and his pedigree is up there.
He's a Hall of Famer. I think he's a Hall of Famer. I believe I don't know if he'll get him first ballot, but maybe second ballot. But he's gonna get in. He's got a gold jacket
with his Ty Dolla $ign dreads and everything.
He looks like Ty Dolla $ign. That's probably Ty Dolla $ign's brother, cousin. But yeah, I say 24-14. That's my
24-14. I say 2017. And yeah, that'll put a bow on it. We could talk about the Yankees and the Mets, but baseball season is almost over.
It's just about, we got to do the Giants prediction.
We got to do the Giants prediction.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
I don't know what the line is for the Giants and the Arizona Cardinals, but I think the Giants bounce back. I think that Arizona's just terrible, and I think that the Giants need to figure out how to wash this taste of atrocity out of their mouth.
I love the word.
Yeah, I think they have to wash it out, and I don't think it's going to be a hammering because I think that even though Arizona's supposed to be terrible, they did prove last week that they can be pretty competitive.
They're going to play tough.
Yeah,
they play. I'll give
because one of the things that people got to realize about franchise is that even though a team is projected to lose like every single, like I remember 2020 when people thought that the Adam Gase era was going to end with 0-17 and we ended up winning 2 games. Those 2 games because the players don't care about tanking. They want to win.
Adam Gase beat Jason Garrett. I was at that game with Sam Darnold at quarterback
and Robbie Anderson.
Oh my God, Jason! I hate Jason. I don't know about that team. About told you expressed that enough. I hate that man.
I'm the better Jason here, by the way.
Yes, yes. You have restored my faith in Jason. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Wait till Friday the 13th. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to put a bow on it. Oh, no. Still got to do the prediction.
Yes.
For Giants, I'm going to say 21-10.
Exactly what I was going to say.
Really?
Seriously, exactly. Word
Okay.
for it. I got 21-10.
21-10 Giants over the Arizona
21-10.
Cardinals.
Yeah.
Giants will be 1-1. Jets will be 1-1 after week 2.
They better be, because I think they got the 49ers next.
Who, you guys?
No, the Giants.
Oh.
We got the 49ers in 3 weeks.
Yeah, and also, like, week 3, we have the Patriots at home. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that it's football season. These matchups are going to get better and better each week. It's the most wonderful time of the year. It really is. It really is.
Yep. It's feeling like Christmas already.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to finally do it for this episode of Yo New York Sports. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for joining us in our craziness and a little bit of Jets therapy and also a little bit of cowboy gloating. Yeah, so take us out. Before we do that, where could they find you on social media?
As always, YouGoBoy88. That's on everything: TikTok, Instagram, as well as YouTube as well. And of course, you-goboy.com. That's the mothership. And we got new episodes of the You Go Boy podcast. We got sports talk, a lot of sports talks episodes. You're going to be on one of the sports talks.
Yes, I can't wait for that.
With Carlos.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I can't wait for that.
That's going to be fun. That's
yeah,
gonna be fun.
and we got to get Joe and everybody.
Yeah.
You got the whole usual suspects.
Yeah, gang's all here.
Yeah,
man.
and by the way, let me put this out there in the universe. Don LaGreca, Bravery Studios is calling you.
He's coming. No,
Yeah,
he's
let's
coming.
do it. Yeah.
He's coming for sure.
Yeah.
100%. I'll be there for that. I'll be there for that.
I will not do a show with Don LaGreca without you.
Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Appreciate that.
All right, and you can find me at Jason Enrique _ on all social media platforms: Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, all that nonsense, Threads. Just follow it, and don't forget to like, subscribe on YouTube at First Class Second Place. We are
Peace.